Hello, my loves. We are doing a few unboxings today on the channel. I have barely been sleeping and I was also sick. So my throat, I was sick a bit ago, but my throat still hasn't fully recovered. And as soon as I start talking, it starts to get scratchy. So I do apologize, guys. I have to sip tea for this unboxing. So this is a very special unboxing. The creatrix and owner of Hollar Moon, the Etsy shop, and also the Hollar Moon Mountain Oracle deck creator that I am obsessed with. She recently sent me a package, and the deck that we are unboxing today is entitled The Back in the Hollar Oracle deck. I'm just referencing because I'm a little bit spacey today to make sure I get the name right. So when she wanted to send a package to me, and when I opened the box, I realized that it was the Back in the Hollar Oracle deck, and I wanted to share the unboxing experience with you guys, but I wanted to open the box myself. I didn't know she was sending me this deck, but I had a feeling that there was a deck in the gift that was being sent as a thank you. And I want to just explain that when you order a deck from the creatrix of Hollar Moon Mountain, the packaging is so special. And I will put in the description box down below the link to the original unboxing that I had done of her deck. She did not send me that original deck. I purchased it myself. I was called to purchase it based on the artwork that I found online. And when I opened that deck, and you guys can see in the unboxing in real time with me, how special unboxing that deck was, and how much for me it reminds me of my great-grandmother. And I've talked on the channel about another deck that reminds me of my great-grandmother and how special those type of decks are to me. And the interesting thing is that I'm actually unboxing this on my brother's birthday. Now, I'm not in contact with my brother, unfortunately, but there's just such a sense of the ancestors and earth magic and forest magic that comes in with any of the decks that I've worked with by Hollar Moon Mountain. That is so special. And unwrapping the decks itself is a huge part of the experience. And it's so connected to my great-grandmother for me that I got really emotional when I was first opening this particular package. So I just wanted to show you, because I don't know, I'm so lucky that our community here is so loving, and I very rarely have any messages or comments that I have to delete or people that I have to block, because the community is truly so loving that we've all created together, and I'm really grateful for that. But someone had posted in the unboxing of the other deck by Hollar Moon Mountain that the price was too high, that they weren't going to pay that price for the Oracle deck. So I just wanted to take a moment and just explain, like, this type of packaging where the artist, the creatrix herself, literally packages each one intuitively for every person. And it's wrapped the same way. It just has such an American ancestral vibe to it. The feel, like, it reminds me so much of my grandmother, the homemade doilies, the homemade quilt scraps. Like, my great-grandmother would save all the quilt scraps and clothes from all of her children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and then she would sew quilts. And the ends, or the pieces that she would trim off, she would save and she would use in this way. So if you are wanting to connect with folk magic, just purchasing one of these decks, the wrapping alone is worth the investment, but you're also purchasing an independently produced deck that the artist herself is creating and putting out there. So the price, it's an investment deck. I don't feel it's too high. I wouldn't share the deck on the channel if I did think that it was something that was outside of a price point that I felt was giving you value for the price. But I just wanted to just take a moment and address the price, and that I think you're getting so much for that price. It's such an experience. Just unboxing the deck is unique. It's not some stickers that are thrown in. This fabric, these pieces, they're all handmade, or machine sewn, but handmade or found in thrift stores, I am sure. And she chooses the colors and wraps it individually herself. So it's a very, very special experience. And all the dried flowers and herbs are real. They're not fake. And it's just a really, really beautiful experience. And the deck itself comes very beautifully, lovingly wrapped. And so I did unwrap it just so I could see the card backing, because I've seen this deck on her feed, and I was hoping that this was the deck that she had sent. So I just wanted to address the price point. I feel it's very reasonable for what you're getting. And this is something that you're not going to get. Even if you purchase this deck, you're not going to have the same wrapping as me. Each one is individually done and wrapped and chosen for each person. So it's very magical. But I just wanted to address that, because I was like, ooh, that was kind of a message that I wasn't prepared to find on that unboxing video. So I did just want to address that. And then you can see, like, you can save all of this and use this in altar work. And there's also included in this one this beautiful piece, this beautiful spell bottle. And I know that this has dirt from the creatrix home in it, homeland, hometown, home space, and that really means a lot to me. I've been talking a lot about that on the channel lately, getting back to the roots of my own magic with dirt and how impactful and important that's been. So I just want to take a moment and say thank you to her for that. So that being said, I am so excited to open this. I love the original deck I purchased from her Hollar Moon Mountain Oracle. It's on my main altar in the house. I use it every day in readings for clients. I use it for myself. I love the imagery. Again, it's very folk magic. It's Appalachian folk magic. So it's giving you a unique spice and flavor that you're not going to see in anything else. So once you take your wrapping off, which mine came wrapped in, oh man, I just get so emotional because it just reminds me so much of my grandmother. So mine came wrapped in this beautiful little kerchief. And I don't know about you, but my dad is a lot older. He was 40 when I was born. So my dad and a lot of the men around me when I was growing up all had kerchiefs in their pockets. And if you had a runny nose or if you cut yourself or something, they'd pull their kerchief out of their pocket and hand it over to you. It was considered like a gentlemanly thing to do in the old school style. And so this reminds me not only of my great-grandmother, but of my grandfather and my father as well, in a really beautiful way. So that is very special. Like I said, I wanted to unwrap it myself because it's such a personal experience, but I want to do the unboxing of the deck itself with you. So it comes wrapped in plastic. Does it get better than that? And it's the same linen cardstock. I believe you have choices when you choose your cardstock. I'm actually, okay, so I know, guys, I was so against linen cardstock for a long time. One of my very, very dear sisters, and Tara has a little giggle with me about this, but she's converted me and I love the linen cardstock now. So I'm very happy with the cardstock. There's no gilded edging, but I don't need it with this because it's a folk magic deck. It's a deck of the forest. It's a deck of the earth. It's a deck of your ancestors. So curiosity, which I love, glory. So you guys know, return, that I use these decks as clarifiers, as amplifiers in magical and ritual practice, and to call in an energy or release an energy when I want and or need to in my practice and craft as a witch. So we're working with these decks, not like you would with an Alana Fairchild Oracle deck, right? You're really working with these decks for very specific reasons, but also to dance with, to immerse yourself in, or to release a specific energy, okay? And if you love black and white photography like I do, or if you like, let's say, oh, I love this card. If you like, let's say, the Flow Tarot, if you see me unbox or talk about that on the channel and you like the photography aspect, then you're going to like this deck, Threshold. What I love about the imagery, and this is no different than the other deck that I purchased from Hollar Moon Mountain, but what I love about the imagery is it is how I experience the woods in America. So for instance, I just unboxed Under the Oak Tarot, which was really gorgeous. but it's very fairy tale like in its feel, right? This is like the actual forest because these are real photos and images that the artist and creatrix took. So it gives you like this mother bear image. I've seen I've seen bears in the wild most of my life, and this is the feel that you get, and that's what I like about this. It's very real. It's very rural America, and there is a magic, a folk magic, an earth magic. Oh, I love this one. That is practiced in these places that this deck has powerful access to. So if you're looking to connect with that, I think you're going to enjoy this. Oh my God. Now I know that this is Appalachia, or Appalachia, however I'm supposed to pronounce it. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. This reminds me of the Atlantic coastline in Maine, because there are promontories on the edges of certain areas along the Atlantic coastline in Maine. And this is what it's like. And you walk out to the edge, and then it's just the Atlantic Ocean kind of raging around you at the end. And I love that it's called release, because oftentimes I'll walk out onto something like this when I'm working a magical spell or ritual for release, for letting go, for endings, for 10 of Swords energy. And this is that imagery calls this up in my mind. So see, that's why I love this deck. And also I like that I just have one word or two, graveyard tree. There it is. That's what it is. That means that when I'm clarifying a tarot spread, it's sweet, it's straight, it's to the point, and I know what it's expressing to me. My brother and I would stumble upon dwellings like these that were slowly returning back to the earth all the time out in the woods here in New Hampshire. And so that, again, it's like very childhood feel for me. Potential. Ooh, overwhelm. Abandoned. Silver lining. Wishing. Flow. Ooh, understanding. I love this. What this calls up for me is growing up in very old houses and having lived in many old houses. There's something when you stand in front of a window like this and you look outside and you realize how many generations of people have stood in that same place and looked out that same window. And you feel this haunting sense of understanding, of knowing, of memory, of connectedness, of ancestral magic. And that really calls that up to me. Belief with the Holy Bible here. Ooh, barrier. That's a great one. Oh, I love her work so much. Depth. Wow. Cycle. It brings so many feelings up, and feelings connect us to our intuition. They're an aspect of our intuition. There's the wheel. Delicate matters there with Queen Anne's lace. Oh, that one makes me want to cry too. Stability. Abundance. I mean, how many of us remember, like, my maternal grandmother would always, in the fall, she'd have the dried corn husks hanging off the front door. Passage. That's beautiful. Back roads. This personally makes me think of running, because I love to run on back roads. And just that sense of being like still in human life because you're on a road that's paved, but all around you is the magic of the forest, and just like running and the slap of your feet on the pavement. And then also like all of the wildlife making noise around you. Harmony. I love that. Aww. Transition. Identify. Oh, this is awesome playtime. I have so many squirrels in the backyard here, and I've just been literally just watching a squirrel play in the backyard while they were gathering acorns. Ooh. Bitterness. Oh, guides. longing. This is perfect. How many of us stand outside under the full moon and feel that yearning, that longing for maybe a lover from a long time ago, or a memory from childhood, or a feeling, a time we sometimes wish we could go back to, right? That card perfectly encapsulates that. Divination, talk about scrying, right? Protection, possessions. This is so funny to me. I'm gonna explain why. This is like story time with Racine. So these kind of old style craft where they're like a porcelain, but they are like a serving dish, right? And they were really popular. I don't know if it was like in the 50s or 60s or 70s or what it was, right? But I remember, I have very vivid memories before my parents joined the religion they did, of going to my grandmother's house and her having this type of serving dishware. And then my mother had some, and I have some older friends, and they, who are in their 60s and 70s now, they all have serving dishes like this. And I remember when I was in my 20s being like, I don't want those. Like, they're so kitschy, but they're not me kitschy. And someone gifted me one, and I still have it to this day. So this is funny that it's cracking me up that this is the image for possessions, because that speaks so much to an aspect of Americana in my mind. Like, I know exactly when I see that card, what that image is going to prompt within me as a reader. Pathway. Haints. There you go. There's some folk magic for you. Speak up. Ooh, I like that. Oh, this reminds me of when Vincent was little. Care. And you'd pick dandelions and bring them over to me. Cleansing. Oh, this is beautiful. Layers. If you have a quilter in the family, or if you've ever been a quilter, you'll understand what that's referencing there with layers. Simplicity. Luck. Pain. And yes, these hurt. Bonds. And then in a reference of sisterhood to the Hollar Moon Mountain Oracle, emerge comes forward. Wow. So I want to read to you a little bit of the about from Hollar Moon Mountain. So it says, the second sister deck to the Hollar Moon Mountain Oracle. They're designed to be used separate or as a super deck by combining the decks. And then she says, all of her oracle decks are photographed, edited, designed by her, and packaged gift unique to each individual purchase. No two decks will have the same vintage mementos, trinkets, dried flowers, herbs, vials of river water, antique hankies, crocheted items, and so much more. I find and intuitively pick items for each client. The oracle decks themselves are inspired by my life here in the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee, steeped in hauntingly Appalachian imagery, the stirring of memories and of days long past. I often create, collect, or find vintage items as well as curiosities, spooky, magical, and unusual gifts. So I'm going to put the link to Hollar Moon Mountain, the Etsy shop, down below. If this deck is still available for purchase, I will put the link to this deck down below as well. I know someday I'm going to go to the Smoky Mountains, and I feel like connecting with this creatrix and also working with her decks has just has helped me in a reawakening and a reconnection to the magic of the land that is so innate within all of us as human beings that I think at this time societally we're very disconnected from. And it almost creates a void within us, a hole, a longing, a space of longing to come back to that sense of connection to our earth, to feeling her aliveness. And so this is a really, really special deck to connect to that with. Either this one, which, please forgive me, Back in the Hollar. This is the Back in the Hollar Oracle deck, or the first deck that I purchased from her, the Hollar Moon Mountain Oracle. Either of those options can really help you to connect to that space if you're feeling that void. And if you're called to black and white photography as far as imagery and what it elicits within you as an intuitive and emotional feeling response, because that's what you want to click into as a reader. And that's how powerful these decks are, in my opinion. So whilst they are investment decks, you are most certainly getting your money's worth. I am over the moon in love with this deck already. I cannot wait to clear her and start using her immediately. I just want to take a moment and express my gratitude to the creatrix of Hollar Moon Mountain. Thank you so much for gifting this to me, and thank you for the gift you give all of us in these creations. I truly hope, as a fellow independent creatrix on the path, that you stay true to what you are creating and that you don't let others attempt to shift or change what you're doing because they think there's a way that you could make it more palatable or more mass market appropriate. I think for those of us who create this type of work that creates something tangible and unique in an experience that really creates a feeling of connection for those who are drawn to our work, there's such an importance in staying true to who we are. And I really feel that from this creatrix. And I hope that, I'm just so trusting that she's going to continue to create these beautiful, truly unique experiences for those of us who read the cards and who live a path that's in alignment with our work. So I'm so excited and always stoked to support her work. I hope you will check out her offerings. I hope you will check out her Etsy shop. Let me know if you've used the decks, how you've experienced them. If you felt a connection to your ancestors, to your beloved dead, and to folk magic itself. I would love to know if you have. So let's talk about it in the comment section down below. But I am sending you all, as always, oceans of love. And I will, of course, see you in the next video. Take care.